Once upon a time, a wicked devil made a strange mirror. All the beautiful and good things reflected in the mirror became distorted and terrible, while everything that was ugly became even uglier than before. In his excitement, the devil carried it to heaven to play a prank on God. Hardly had he reached heaven when the mirror shook terribly, flew from his hands, fell to the earth, and broke into many tiny pieces. The mirror fragments were scattered all over the earth. People who got a glass splinter in their eyes would see everything awry. Some people got a bit in their hearts, which began to turn into a lump of ice.
The pieces of the broken mirror will fly about in the wide world, and people will see its magic.
In a large city, there lived two children named Kai and Gerda. They were neighbors and best friends. Every day they would read picture books, listen to their grandmother's stories, and grow roses together. One day, splinters of the demon's mirror suddenly got into Kai's heart and eyes. From then on, the boy's personality changed. He found Gerda so ugly and her games so boring. Kai, let's look at a picture book.
No, you ugly girl. I'm going skiing now.
On a winter day, Kai tied his sleigh to another, larger one. The strange sleigh took him to a place where there were snowflakes as big as white hens. The woman sitting in the huge sleigh was the Snow Queen. The Snow Queen took Kai up in the sleigh beside her. Kai had never seen anyone as beautiful as the Snow Queen. However, her face seemed as cold as ice, and her skin as white as snow. The Snow Queen kissed Kai on the forehead, making his heart frozen. Suddenly, the little boy forgot little Gerda, his grandmother, and his parents. Then she flew him over forests and oceans to her palace. You smart boy. Stay and rule the eternal castle with me.
Yes.
Gerda was heartbroken at Kai's disappearance. She decided to cross a river on a small boat to find him. Unfortunately, her boat was carried away by the current. Little Gerda was terribly frightened. The boat floated to a big cherry garden, in which stood a small house. Gerda called out for help, and there came an old woman leaning on a crutch. She pulled the boat with her crutch and lifted Gerda out. Gerda asked the woman if she had seen Kai. She answered that she had not. She told Gerda not to be sad, but to stay with her, taste her cherries, and look at her flowers, each of which could tell a story. Kind woman, I'm looking for my friend Kai. Have you seen him? No, I have not seen him, but he no doubt will come. Just stay with me. The old woman understood witchcraft. She wanted Gerda to stay with her forever. So, she smoothed out the little girl's hair with a golden comb, which caused the girl to forget all about her little friend Kai. Being afraid that, if Gerda saw roses, she would remember Kai, the old woman caused all the roses in her garden to sink into the earth. Gerda loved flowers of every kind, but she thought one kind was missing. One day, Gerda saw that the hat of the old woman had a beautiful red rose painted on it. She ran out into the garden to find one, but no rose was to be found. Feeling very disappointed, she cried. It was a marvel that, as soon as Gerda's tears fell on the ground, a beautiful rose bush shot up suddenly. Gerda kissed the roses. Then she thought of her own roses at home, and Kai. She hurried to find Kai. My goodness, Kai! I have to find him now! When Gerda walked through a dark forest, she was captured by robbers. They intended to kill her, but their daughter begged to let her keep Gerda to play with. To humor her, they agreed. When Gerda told the girl about Kai, the wood pigeons broke in on their talk that they had seen Kai with the Snow Queen, heading up to her eternal castle at the end of the world. Please don't eat me! Mom, I want her as my playmate. Oh, all right. But you must keep watching her, or she'll escape.
Ha ha ha! How plump she is! How nice she will taste!
The robber girl asked a reindeer to bring Gerda to the Snow Queen's castle. After running day and night, the reindeer finally took Gerda to the end of the world. Gerda met a woman who was an enchantress there. The reindeer begged the woman to give Gerda the strength of 12 men to overcome the Snow Queen. The woman explained that Gerda already had a great power inside of her, as she had been traveling so far on her bare feet and made men and animals to serve her. Could you give little Gerda the power of 12 men so that she can overpower the Snow Queen? Nobody but Gerda is strong enough to remove the glass fragments from little Kai's heart and eye. The woman told Gerda the way to the Snow Queen's palace. It was covered with snow. The snowflakes had strange forms. Some looked like big porcupines, others like knots of snakes. Some were like fierce bears. Gerda ran nervously while saying the Lord's Prayer. Her breath came like smoke and turned into little angels. The angels struck all the snowflakes and helped Gerda to reach the Snow Queen's castle safely. Bravo! In the largest room of the castle, Kai was sitting alone, fitting some pieces of ice into patterns. The Snow Queen promised him that if he could spell the word eternity, he could be his own master. Although the Snow Queen was away so long, Kai could not spell out this word. He was blue, indeed, almost black with the cold, but he sat there quite stiff and still, and looked at his pieces of ice. If you can spell out the word eternity, you shall be your own master, and I'll give you the whole world.
I'm sure I can do it.
Just at this moment, little Gerda came into the castle. She tried to walk through the biting winds. Seeing Kai, she was so happy. She held him close and cried, "Kai! Dear little Kai, I found you at last!" But Kai sat quite still, stiff and cold. Gerda burst into tears. Her hot tears fell on his breast and penetrated to his heart. They melted the lump of ice and destroyed the splinter of glass in it. Kai looked at Gerda and cried, and the mirror piece came out of his eye. He hugged her. The pieces of ice danced about for joy. When laying down, they formed the word eternity. So now, Kai was his own master.
My sweet little Gerda, why am I here?
Kai, do you recognize me? I miss you so much. The Snow Queen suddenly came home. She asked Kai to stay and rule the Eternal Castle with her. Kai asked the Snow Queen to keep her promise and set him free to go back home with Gerda. The Snow Queen got very angry. She created icy winds and asked her monstrous snowflakes to attack Gerda. Kai quickly held Gerda close. It was so marvelous. There glowed a bright light from their bodies, which melted the snow. The Snow Queen cried out in terror. She faded away into the air.
Gerda, don't be afraid. I'll protect you.
Ah! Oh, no! Hand in hand, Kai and Gerda ran away with joy. Wherever they went, the wind stopped, the ice melted, and the sun came out. Kai and Gerda returned home together. Everything at home remained unchanged. The roses were still in bloom. They saw each other. They were grown up now, but their friendship was still as close as it had been. After overcoming a lot of challenges, Kai and Gerda lived together happily. Their good friendship overpowered the devil's cruel magic and melted the eternal ice. It's wonderful, isn't it? So remember to love and help your friends. Goodbye, and see you again. Wow, how beautiful the roses are!
Yes, we'll take care of roses together and never be apart.